Hello everyone. I hope you guys are having a great day. So for today's video, we are going to be continuing our learn and explore openings. And I think for this game, since we got white, I think we are going to try to play e4 for the first time in the series. We're gonna step away from London for a little bit. So we have e5. So we are going to be. Oh, our opponent is, I guess, much better in rapid. But anyway, we get a four nights game. So we are going to be playing the Glek system recommended by Daniel Narodisky. I've watched him quite a bit on this opening, so hopefully I can learn. So we are play d3 because our e4 is going to be hanging. Okay. And what's the point of the Glek system? So the Glek system basically allows you to, if you're familiar with Fiend Kettle system, this is a very good opening for you to explore playing e4. Um, and I am a big fan of playing Fiend Kettle system. So because I play d4 and I just play in general um, a lot of Fiend Kettle openings. Yeah, and see, this doesn't do anything because we're just gonna play King H2. And I didn't want to really waste a move earlier because I want to encourage our opponent to play Queen C8. If here I was gonna play King H2 and go with the plan. Now what the plan is? Oops, Knight H5. Now what does the plan? What is the plan? Okay, so the first plan is that White is making sort of an inaccuracy here. So we want to punish that. Now we were gonna move our knight regardless, but since our opponent sort of blunder a pawn, right? Tactically, now you look at this as if the knight can take the pawn, we can take the knight, and we will be a pawn. Okay, let me re-explain that really quickly. So essentially, we're gonna move our knight, and we're gonna capture something. And this is what happened. Our opponent tries to do that. Oh, I see what's going on. Oh, I forgot a knight takes rook comes with a check. Oh, so I can't do that. Okay, so if that's the case, we are just going to be taking on g3. Now, you look at this, right? We were going to move our knight to d2 and then play f4. And that's our main goal of Fiend Kettle. And this is very similar to King's Indian defense or King's Indian attack, mostly King's Indian defense. But here, by doing this, our opponent kind of just helped us do the job because, well, now the F file is open, and we just have the bishop pair. So now here, I wanted to play Queen E2. Now we want to play D4, but the problem with D4 is we allow Knight to C4, which I really don't like. So ideally, I might want to play Queen to E2. I was thinking a little bit of Rook to B1, but I don't think it does too much. So I think I'm going to play Queen E2. We're just going to connect the rooks and hope for the best. And I'm going to play. Okay, now A6 is another annoying move because we still cannot play D4 due to Bishop B5, and we actually can't. Then we actually can't play C4 blocking because it's attacked by the knight and the bishop. So what do we want to do? Well, now since our opponent is trying to just stop us from, essentially playing d4, what we can do is playing rook to f2. What does rook f2 do? Rook f2 allows us to stack rooks on the f file, and our opponent obviously going to play 6. But I think that is going to be fine. There were some reasons why I didn't want to play c4. Right? Anyone was wondering why I don't want to play c4? Because after c4, black can't respond with c5, and after that move, we first of all cannot play d4, and secondly, the knight is going to be sitting on e5, and if the knight's sitting on e5, our bishop becomes quite bad. But actually, there is a problem with this f6 move. You know what it is? The problem is it's starting to weaken all the light square here, and remember I said before d4 doesn't work because of bishop to b5. What if we just play queen h5, right? Queen h5 is maybe this, but looks sketchy, to be honest. But I think this is definitely an executable plan. Okay, we have bishop to e8. Um, well, in that case, I think we're just gonna go back queen to e2. Now we have queen to e6. Um, wow, why is this d4 plan so hard to execute? Okay, I think do we play a4, a5? We could, right? Okay, let's play a4. We are running a little bit low on time, so I'm going to talk a little less, and I will explain my thought process after the game. Okay. Okay, so this is actually huge. You know why? Because first of all, yep. So bishop takes. Okay, actually, there's still a problem with this move. Um, yeah, there are actually still problems with this move. Order? Wait. Now we can play c4. We can definitely play c4, but now d4 needs to be played. Okay, so bishop to c6. That if that is not a blunder, I don't know what that is. You see, now we can play d4 with tempo and then play d5. But now, actually, there comes a different problem. If d4, knight takes c4, and d5, this bishop takes d5. And funny enough, if we take this, we're going to lose a pawn. Huh. So we just lose 2 pawns in the process. But now, since our opponent played bishop to, to c6, there's no c5 anymore. And with that in mind, we can just move the bishop back. Now, where do we go is a real question. We can move it all the way back. I think move it all the way back is probably good. Here. Okay, bishop b7. Uh, Now let's play rook to b1. This position is still pretty hard to play. It's hard to win, not hard to play per se. Wait, our opponent can't take on c4, right? Yeah, white. Yeah, I forgot. White can't take on. Black can't take on c4 because I have d5. Because the key here is that the queen is protected, so. I forgot that this is not. This is not capturable. C4 is not capturable because d5 just we just win then. Okay. So okay, we have to pull something off here, and from the looks of it, oh man, why is this so hard to do anything? Okay, let's play c3. We have to make a move here. I only have a minute, and this position is not going anywhere. I going the direction that I wanted to. Uh, okay. Okay, we have that. Wait a second. So we can play this. Let's play rook takes, and then we're going to play e5. And since our opponent moved the queen away, we can now play e6. I don't know if the bishop pair is sufficient for us to, to win, but and the thing is that we take in the knight with checks, so we're good in that regard. Okay. We don't want to allow the king to go back, but how do we do so? Okay. Let's play bishop e4. Oh, if king g8 we have bishop h6. Okay, we're fine. And if king h8 we have queen g6. The bishop pair is doing work here. Okay, we're just gonna take with the rook. Our opponent was going to sack the rook after we take with the bishop, but that's not what we're gonna try to do. Okay, king g8. We just have to keep giving checks. Okay, 8. Bishop here, because we have that, and we execute the beautiful checkmate with 5 seconds left on the clock. Okay, very nice. So, yeah, I guess we having the engine auto analyzed, but that's fine. So here, as you can see, the problem with this is rook takes, and yeah. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. I think, yeah, knight h5 is just definitely a bad move. Okay, let's go back to the very beginning and go. We're gonna go over the Glek system really quick. So the Glek system, you will eventually achieve it with G3, and it goes out of Fortnite's game. So this is a Glek system. I play it because I think it's a very good system for me to, restarting to play E4. I do know some, Bishop C4 Italian or Guccio piano or Fry liver attack, but I don't have like extensive knowledge in it. So any sort of like theoretical lines is gonna throw me off. And this is what I am most comfortable of. Now Bishop B4 is a rare, much rare line, which also what it does is that it attacks the knight, right? And if you blindly develop the bishop, then yeah, then it's not like you're gonna lose a pawn because if you look at it, this is fairly similar to like the Spanish or Rui Lopez or whatever sort of. Well, as you can see here, I only know that B takes C3 is a thing, and now knight takes E4. There are this stuff, but this is like a different line that I didn't never really know of. So, and here of course say D takes C3. Here D takes C3 is better, but I didn't really know it beforehand. So, but I guess now since we are analyzing, right, then we know. But I'm playing D3, which is what I've been playing, and now I guess it turns out it's not really a good move. But I think this is very realistic. Why? Because it's the principle of, protecting the pawns. Obviously, you can go for Bishop G2 right away if you like. If you know enough theory to see why this line works. Here we play D3, and the line usually goes with D5, takes, and Bishop D2, and usually black takes with the bishop because the knight is very much better than the bishop in this case. And just castle bishop G2, and here we have the bishop pair, and the line goes on. We have the double pawns on the C file. However, we are gaining the B file for the rook to be in play. So, but here our opponent didn't play D5. Our opponent just takes, and here this is completely fine for us. So we just play like normally. We just play as if our opponent plays D5, right? And because our opponent, the thing with D5 is that if black doesn't fight on the center, then we just always have the E4 pawn here, and white is going to be slightly better. So H3, basically stopping bishop G4. You can allow it, right? But why? Why would you allow it when you don't have to? And plus, since our opponent play H6, there's no bishop G5 here. Also, when we feed kettling like this, bishop G5 is rarely played because if you're gonna play that, the purpose is to trade off the knight. So, and if you're gonna play bishop E3 here, there are some knight G4 ideas, and now you have to move the bishop back. It's very annoying, so you don't want to do it. So H3 stopping either piece to go into the G4 square. I don't know why our opponent played bishop D7 instead of just moving one more square up to bishop E6, but okay, we take that. Here, if we play king H2, our opponent might not play queen C8, but as you can see here, since our opponent played queen C8 and we play king H2, look at the queen placement. Because if this was the case, if our opponent played bishop E6, I might just play king H2 right away. I would still play this, I think, because this is still the same option. However, you compare it to this, in this case, queen D7 is a much better move because now after king H2, the queen isn't awkward because the rooks are connected and the queen is developed. But here it's just a weird move. To queen C8. Knight H5. Now here, obviously, as I said, it's not a good move. Why? Because the knight here over here is unprotected, and since we play g3, right, we have the Fiend Kettle system. There's no knight g4, knight f4. Sorry, there's no knight f4. So I play knight takes e5 with the intention of with the same line that happened in the game. However, I forgot that we are forced to take this because I thought that after knight takes c6 and knight takes f1, we can play knight to e7. But then knight takes f1 comes with a check, so we can't do that. So we are forced to capture, and we just down in exchange. And we down in exchange with a double pawn, so that's not really good. So we don't want that. Yeah, so we could have just gone with knight to d2, and now the knight has to go back, which is a waste of move, and now we play f4. And because our opponent wastes a tempo, and we just better because we have the bishop pair, and once we bust open the king side, black is going to be in trouble. But we calculate a little. Our calculation was a little inaccurate, so we missed that knight takes f1 comes with a check. So here goes back to equal because if you saw what happened in the game, the knight here is not really kickable. We can't play d4 here because, again, bishop to b5 is a problem. And we cannot play c4 because of this. The knight and the bishop just protected. And we're going to lose in exchange once again. So we can't really do that. And we could have played a4, but I didn't realize it until like much earlier. So rook f2, f6. Here I could play d4 now. But what happened here was that after bishop b5 and queen h5, knight to c4, I didn't really like it. I guess here I can sack, but you see look at the engine is saying that this is a dead draw. For some reason, yeah, because I guess because the threat of taking on h6 is fairly huge. But the problem here is that, like, oh, this is mate in 7 if takes. Oh, I did not see that. But if knight to f7, rook takes. Yeah, I will never see that. My goodness. But it works because, yeah. e5. Do you see how crazy this position is? You're down to 4 rook. But the queen and the rook, or black queen and black rook, is not in the game. And this rook can just rotate here and give a checkmate. So that's what happened. But who plays e5 here? Come on. So takes is mate. Oh, that's why you play e5. To free up the square for the bishop. I see. I do not see that. So, but okay, that is kind of out of reach. So we just missed, like, I don't know, like 3,000 elo tactics. So we are not 3,000 here, so we don't really want to care about that. So queen h5, bishop e8 here. Yeah. So this is just effectively sort of a draw, somewhat. This is, I mean, as long as we don't play d4 and allow our opponent to do some stuff, we are going to be fine. So queen e6. Now we play a4, and here again, b5 is an inaccurate move because, as you can see, the pawn can't take, so bishop takes is forced, and we are allowed to play c4. Now here, after bishop to c6, we can't play d4 here. We can't play d4 here. Cannot, because after this, knight takes c4 and d5, it seems like we are winning a piece, but what happened is black can just take this because our bishop is pinned. So takes, and we just lose the bishop back, and we are down 2 pawns. Yeah. And actually, it's a queen takes because we can't even take this. Can't even take the knight. Our rook is hanging. So yeah, we cannot play d4 for the moment. But since our opponent played bishop c6, we're not scared of c5 anymore. Now, what happens to bishop d7? Why? Oh, now we play c5 in the impression of stopping black from playing c5. In order to stop, you know, there are a few ways to stop, your opponent to play a move, and you can occupy that square yourself. And in this case, in order to prevent black from playing c5, you just have to play c5 yourself, because again, d4 doesn't work. Knight takes c4 here. If we play d5, yep, okay. So here it doesn't work for a different reason, because it's still tactics, but it doesn't work still because our rook is now hanging. So yeah, I might not see that. If our opponent play bishop d7, I might actually play d4. Scary, but c5 is just definitely better. But bishop c6 is play, so we play bishop to c1. Just like completely avoiding any complications on this file, because our queen is protected, so we're not really scared with hanging. Bishop b7. We kind of happen to play the best move, and this goes into intuition experience. D4 is the second best move, and it's equal. Why? Because after knight takes and this, again, I don't see this whole thing. But you know what rook b1 does? Rook b1, it's just an improvement. It's an improving move, and it comes with a tempo of attacking the black bishop. So I kind of just make that move. And I wasn't really aware of any of the tactics previously. So here now we play d4, and now there's officially no tactics because our rook is not on a1. So knight f7 is play, and okay, so here, okay, does that work? I was thinking of rook takes b7 here, and of course it is actually fine here to just go down and exchange. But the problem is that after e5, and here I was looking at d5, but I couldn't play it. So I mean, say our opponent didn't play rook b1, say something like rook b8. Yeah, okay, so bishop d5 is the correct move, not d5. The problem, yeah, because d5 just undefends this, and our bishop becomes bad once again. We just like block our bishop twice in the game for no reason. So bishop d5, and queen. I guess queen e7 works, but yeah. But here, I mean, it's just saying sack, sacrifice stuff. But here we are very low on time, so we just play c3. We kind of just making moves here. We're still slightly better. So here we kind of got out of like the hard part of the game. Now we're just much better. Now we have the 4 pawn center that can help us play the game. But here, yeah, queen d7 just help the tactic to work. So takes e5, and yeah, here our opponent didn't see rook b1, but that's fine, whatever. If rook b1, and again same thing. Queen here takes, and then rook takes, whatever. We still up the bishop pair. We're not really scared. But rook b3, e6, queen a4. I mean, that's just a super odd move, because it just put the queen and the rook out of the game all of a sudden. Now here, yeah, in a classical game, I probably would play bishop d5, because I see that I can actually play e7, and also put it. And what this does is that it forced the queen, the kind of force the king to go away, and you take this, and this is protected. Yeah, and then here I mean, you have the bishop pair and a pawn on the 7th rank protected. So if this is not winning, I don't know what is. So, but I just played a simple move because again, you want to play a simple chess basically if you don't have like any sort of increment. And to be honest, 10-0 is just basically bliss chess. So online at least, it's still like bliss chess. So you need to play simple chess, and this is just simply winning still, right? So yeah, king takes. That just kind of yells to me like mate, mate, mate. Like it just say mate because the king is safety was on g8, and what happened with king takes is that bishop takes d5. I intuitively think that the king, as long as it cannot come back to g8, or I made it come back to g8, but I have all my pieces on the board, like on the square of attacking, then I should be completely winning. So I play bishop d5. I know that not allowing king g8 was like a must. That just kind of yells into me. King g6. Now queen e4, I wasn't able to calculate correctly, so I go for the queen g4 route. But let's see. Queen e4, f5. Like this is why I wasn't seeing. And okay, so here. All right, I didn't see that. Oh, you see the problem here. This is why I would not see. In I mean that like short span of time. Yeah, beautiful checkmate. Um, and there's no king g5 is the same thing, but the bishop covers here. So I mean, there was not this. There was none of this in the first place. Oh yeah, if the bishop wasn't here, then this would never work, which is fair. So I went for the slightly longer route, but it's easier to find. So bishop e4, f5, rook takes again. And you look at the time, I only have 20 seconds. So if I take this, I'm still completely winning. But after king h8, queen g6, and then takes here, I don't have any checks. And now I allow black to get these pieces back into the game. And I might just lose because of flagging. So I went for rook takes f5 intuitively, and because I know that as long as I keep giving checks, I will be winning. And even then, because like even if we don't checkmate, we still have the bishop pair, and we can still do a whole lot. So king g8 was yeah. I mean, king g8 or king h8 is the same. So I will show you what happened in the game here first, right? King g8, bishop d5, king h8, queen f8, king h7, give a check, force g6. This is the first time that there's like this whole thing works because this bishop on c1 is just a monster. And we land a very beautiful checkmate, a classic lateral diagonal mate of the queen and the bishop. But here again, if I mean, I guess you can't really go king h8. So yeah, this I guess everything here is just kind of forced at this point. But yeah, I think that was a very nice Glek system game. We found out some things that we play inaccurately out of the opening, right? So the next time that we play, we can definitely make some improvement. So, yeah, okay. So very nice checkmate. Look at the queen and the rook doing absolutely nothing, and yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know in the comments if you like the Glek system, or would you like me to try to play the the Italian, or trying to go for like the Spanish. The Spanish, it has a lot of theory, but I can try to play, I guess. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.